Alright, today we will be changing the seal right here, the axle seal, and the rear diff. It looks something like this one here. This is going to be the new one. And I will also be changing that CV axle. As you can see, it's got tape on it. It's got a hole in it. So these are the tools you're going to need right here. A couple screwdrivers. You're going to need a 21mm socket. Pretty much everything's 21mm. This is a 36mm for the axle bolt here. And then a couple wrenches. Ratchet makes it easier, but you're going to need a breaker bar to break it loose. And then if you have a 21mm wrench, it would be easier, but I don't, so I'm just going to use this. And then a couple hammers. And then this square steel here is to put the new seal in. I put it on there like that, and I smack it right in the middle here with the hammer, and it drives it right in. And then I use a little bit of gear oil to lube this up to make it easier to go in. This is the same stuff that I used when I changed the gear oil in the rear end, so I just use the same thing. And then obviously I got the new axle over here. So the first thing you're going to do is, while the car's still on the ground, you're going to get your 36mm, and you're going to have somebody hold the brake or set the parking brake, and you're going to break that loose, which I already did. Then you're obviously going to jack the car up, break all the lug nuts loose, then jack the car up, and then you're going to take the lug nuts off. And then after you do that, you're going to get the tire off. Alright, so once you get the tire off, you're going to finish taking the axle bolts out. And then you're going to have to, this bolt was in here, I took it out already. You're going to take that one out, which goes to here obviously, and then into there. Then you got another bolt on the other side over here. This one here goes to that bar. You're going to take that one out. This thing just pops off. Then you got another bolt right here, which is for this shock here. That one's going to come out too. So the shock is loose now. Then you got one more bolt in the back underneath here. Right here, and this is where the wrench is going to come into play, because you got to hold this nut right here. Well, you take something and unscrew this back side. But this one's already loose; it's ready to come off. So once you get all of those bolts out, there's 4 of them. You get the 4 bolts out, and you get the nut off here. This thing's just going to, the whole thing will swing up, and you'll be able to push this out. So that's what I'm going to show you next. Alright, so once you get all those bolts out, this thing will literally just swing up. You kind of need both hands, so I couldn't record taking the axle out. But you basically just push it here, pull this up, you're going to push it, and then you're going to grab it from the back and guide it out. I already got this side out, you can see. So once you got that out of there, it's pretty much you just grab a big screwdriver, put it in the back side of the axle, just kind of pop it a little, and it'll pop out. It's easier if you have 2 people, because somebody can lift this up for you and guide the axle out, but it is possible to do it by yourself. But you're going to definitely need both hands. That's what I'm going to do next. Alright, so once you get the CV axle off, you're going to stick the screwdriver in right here. Kind of pop this guy out. Work the way around. So it pops out. It'll come out. You gotta work the way around. And clean it up, and I'll show you how to get the new seal in. Alright, so once you get the hole all cleaned up, where the old seal was, you get the new seal and it's ready to go in, you're going to prep it. So this is the new seal here. This is the part number 291331. It's the only place I could find it was at the dealer. It's going to be look a little different because they redesigned it, but it works perfect. I've already did the other side. It's actually much better. So this is the old seal here. You can see they're a little different, but it's going to work fine. So what you're going to want to do is, in this cap here, I have a little bit of gear oil, the same that I used for the rear end. You're just going to want to put it on the edge here, go around it lightly around the edge here. And then you usually put a tiny bit inside the housing in there. It's so hard to see right back over there. I put a tiny bit in the housing there, a little bit on here, and then this thing I usually just push it. Alright, so after you get this new seal used up, you get one of these and you use this to drive it in. Or if you don't have one of these, you can use a piece of wood like a 2x4. Just a little piece of 2x4 and put it on there. That'll work too. After you get the new seal in, you're going to take that axle and clean it up. In my case, I'm using a new axle. And then you're going to put a little bit of gear oil in this part here. And a little bit in the seal if you don't buy this seal. If you buy this, the OEM seal, it already comes with grease in it, so you don't got to worry about that. Then put a little grease here, it makes it easier to get inside of the splines here. And then this part would be better if you have somebody to help you, because it's critical that this thing goes in straight so you don't damage the new seal. So basically you're just going to lift this up, guide it through there, and put it right in. As simple as that. So after you get the new axle in, it shouldn't be sticking out about that much. That's normal. It's supposed to have a gap. As you can see, this side has a gap too. You're going to get this side back in. Lift that up. Put the axle back into there. Alright, little trick if you forget which hole the bolts came out of. It's pretty easy. So this one obviously goes in the bottom one here, because it's the only one that has the nut on it. And then the one that's solid threads all the way is going to go right here in this one. And then one of these is, and then you only have two left. One of them is longer than the other. The longer one is going to go in this hole right here, the shock. And then the shorter one is going to go right here, and the stable bar right here. So another trick I want to show you is when this here might be kind of hard to get lined up. So if you put a floor jack under there and you just jack it up, you can move it around with your hand. It makes it so much easier. Put a screwdriver in there and get it perfectly lined up. The bolt goes right in. It's much easier with the floor jack.